I love a sunburnt country, a land of sweeping plains, of rugged mountain ranges, of droughts and flooding rains. I love her far horizons, I love her jewel sea, her beauty and her terror, the wide brown land for me. I'm in Dorothea McKellars country today. She wrote that poem and she was inspired by this country. We're painting here for a week with the Australian Plein-Air Artist Group. And we hope to be inspired in the same way that Dorothea McKellars was, but instead of putting our thoughts down in prose, we're going to try and use paint. So with a bit of luck, we might have a successful week. See what we come up with. We're staying on the property of Chris and Julie Burgess, who very graciously put us up for the week. It's in the middle of winter here at Gunnedah, and it's bitterly cold. We've just had snow in the surrounding areas, and we're getting the icy winds off that snow. It makes it a challenging country to paint in, let alone the landscape itself, but to put up with the cold, numb fingers, numb noses, and all the rest of it. For me, there's nothing better than this country. I can see why McKellars was inspired here. It's old farming country. A lot of these old dilapidated sheds make ideal subjects for artists. Inspiration everywhere. Wonderful place. This is what I love about this country. There's nothing more beautiful than the blues of the distant hills against the golden grasses late afternoon. This little scene here encapsulates that just perfectly. I think there's nothing more Australian than that. There's a poetry to the Australian landscape. Many poets have found it. McKellars was only one. Lawson, Patterson, Ogilvie, they all found it too. But it's not just limited to poets. Artists have found it as well. You know, the likes of Streeton, Roberts, McCubbin, any artist really that's been touched by the Australian bush has felt it. But you don't have to be a poet or an artist to feel it. If you've been in the bush and you feel a longing for it when you leave, then you felt it too. And it's that feeling that we're trying to capture on canvas. At the end of a cold day's painting, returning to camp with frozen fingers, nose and toes, it's lovely to be greeted with a nice warm fire, a good bottle of red, a great camp oven, and certainly some wonderful company to relive the day's events.
Lemon juice and oregano.
Oregano.
Yeah. How good's that?
I really liked the shadow that was starting to come across in the foreground. It's not here at the moment, but it will come when the sun comes out. There's a band of real sort of pale gold out near the horizon, and that against the blue of the hills, really sings. It's pretty much going to be a sky study though. A lot of the weight of the painting will be up in the sky with just a very low horizon at this stage. It's very flat apart from the distant hills, and that big expanse of flatness and open space is sort of a bit of a challenge to try and see if you can get that to work in a painting. Other places, you can get all sorts of things to fill in the distance between you and the horizon, but here you don't have that. And not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just a challenge to try and make something work with it.
One of the major distinguishing features of this Gunnedah area are these big flat plains, bordered on the horizon by blue mountain ranges, but these big skies are what's really grasping us. At the moment it's overcast conditions, and it has been all week. It really makes you want to paint these big sky studies. Clouds floating by, occasional rain showers. It's very, very impressionistic sort of stuff. We're very privileged today to be able to view the private collection of Chris Burgess. Chris has been collecting Australiana all of his life and has developed this museum underneath the roof of what was the old shearing shed on his property. It's a magnificent collection, the likes of which I haven't really seen in Australia before. It's a diverse collection ranging from McEnroe's broken tennis racket right through to a collection of rabbit traps.
Well, I've been a collector all my life, bit of a hoarder, and I've got a fascination for Australiana more than anything else, particularly shearing sheds, which you can see here today, original shed, and with a lot of even the original motor that the shearers used to use to shear the sheep here. And you know, some of these other, like horse and carts, and you know, some of the motors here are very rare, but they're part of Australia, and that's what you know, I want to keep forever. And you know, and this is just a way I can share it with other people, and my passion, and they get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I think I really started collecting in earnest. I started collecting rocks actually when I was a younger kid, and then that just grew as I grew and got a motor car. I started collecting oil cans, and when I started a bit of an interest in a farm, I started collecting cowbells and different lights. And then I was in the mining industry for a while, so I collected mining memorabilia, and yeah, and then I used to go to a lot of clearing sales, and that took me to places where I'd never been before, and that gave me such an interest to the Australian outback and what made Australia tick back in the early days, particularly with, you know, the shearing and the shearers' strikes and all that part of history, and the machines that used to run the pumps and drive the big shearing sheds and things like that. That became a passion to me, and I just saw so much of it throughout my life disappearing. You know, that scrap people would buy them at clearing sales and things like that. So I just decided to keep it and to treasure it and let everybody else enjoy it.